Oh, thank goodness for Silent letting us know. So kicking off kicking off today's episode, we've got 3 hot topics for you in the Rethink Rundown. First, a UK woman was charged with harassment after, quote, cyber farting at her boyfriend's ex. Then the second topic of the day, sorry, that definitely threw off momentum. The second topic of the day, female rapper is suing Lyft after being denied service for being too large. And then the last topic of the day, which, man, definitely didn't have this in the playbook for this year. Kicking off 2025. We're finding out the New Orleans Saints football team assisted a Catholic clergy in damage control from their SA background. So let's get right into it. And just get ready to step up. Oof. All right. So the first topic of the day, a UK woman is charged with harassment after cyber farting at her boyfriend's ex. I thought this was an interesting topic for the day simply because it is in like black letter text that somebody is now convicted of, quote, cyber farting.
Does it explain what cyber farting is?
Yeah. So the story is that a 25-year-old UK woman just made history in Britain's first ever cyber farting case. Rhiannon Evans processed to pass gas. Proceeded to pass gas, placing the camera on her bottom and passing the gas. This was said by the prosecutor, Diane Williams. Again, imagine like presenting this in a court of law. The relentless, quote, cyber farting began before Christmas and continued through New Year's. The inappropriate and innocent, grossly offensive videos eventually earning Evans a 12-month term for malicious communications. When she appeared in court, pleading guilty, so that it isn't alleged, she cyber farted, and she pled guilty.
She did. She got up there, like, did you? Yeah. Just proudly. Yeah. She probably farted right then after she said yeah.
I mean, come on now. How do Brits start their day? Beans for breakfast. Beans for breakfast. The only country that does that.
I never considered that. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. She set herself up for failure right there.
I just feel like, hey, this was just a natural. You don't get upset if somebody sends a video once a day of me brushing my teeth. It's just a thing we do.
She must have said something in the video like, you. And,
this one's for you,
How do we know she wasn't just sending a Snapchat to the lads? And, you must have been targeted as well.
Did I click Bobby's new girlfriend? Oopsie.
Dude, oh my God, it's like South Park.
Yeah, dude. And I love the prosecutor, again, quote in presentation. It was purely malicious. She was smirking throughout and found it hilarious, but the victim didn't.
She literally pled,
we did.
She literally pled guilty too. Like she did it maliciously. Goddamn right.
Did you do it?
Yeah,
I did.
Chill guy.
All right. How did this all conclude?
I'm right.
Rhiannon Evans was ordered to pay nearly €300 and serve a year-long community service order. She also has 2-year restraining order against this victim. And because she admitted to being drunk while carrying out the crime, she must attend 15 rehab sessions and observe a 60-day alcohol abstinence period. The funny thing is, her attorney was like, listen, you got to tell me you're drunk. Every time.
You were never.
You were drunk. So
6:30 a.m. hammered.
So if you do all of the chemical dependency programs to deter this, it'll be lesser. Just imagine what the sentence, like the end result is for cyber farting. If you don't say you were drunk, it was just like, no, I meant it. Cognitive malicious mind with malice. I woke up and decided fart in the camera.
I woke up, had my beans and tea, and farted on camera, and I live for it.
And her attorney's like, no, that's so much worse. We're going to tell them you were hammered every time.
All right, you have a young lady. She's calling you for consultation regarding a case that she's involved with, and then like just gets it presented and just going like, what?
I mean, harassment's a real thing, right? Like, even if you're calling public services, you can't call public institutions that are there to serve you. You can't call them all day, every day and harass them.
Put a girl on.
Put a girl on. Put a girl. If you don't get that reference, what you need to do is after today's episode, you actually need to head over to our Rethink Actions channel, which is our reactions channel. And we did a segment about a guy that calls and harasses in Cleveland
local fast food joints
and tells them, put a girl on.
And like
that's it.
On his TikTok, he'll have like days. Like we'll be like day 15 calling this like Taco Bell.
Wasn't it Taco Bell? Yeah.
Put
Day
a girl
42.
on. Put a girl on.
It's you again, motherfucker.
And I find both that and Miss Farts a lot to be so funny.
And it is the same crime.
It is
Put a
the
girl
same
on
thing.
and
It's the same thing. It's just
it's
I don't know.
trolling.
This is what the same country that gets you sent to jail for like saying like poor things online, right? And now you can't even send a friendly fart to someone. Like, what is going on here? What happened to my Europe?
My Europe. They lost the control of their tea, and it all went downhill. But before we belabor the point too much, hiding in the pickle corner, way back in the pickle corner.
Yeah.
In the
Damn pickled.
or south. What do you make of this? You're not planning on inducing anybody with cyber farting moving forward, are you?
To be honest, I didn't even know that cyber farting was a thing until.
This is
nobody
groundbreaking. Rhiannon here, again, people in Ohio talking about you. You are a global phenomena. You have created an arm of law, cyber farting.
If you think about it too, they sent her to like Alcoholics Anonymous.
Dude.
Like with actual alcoholics there, like who are actually like having like negative effects on the people in their lives. And she's just like, I wasn't even drunk. I just farted on a camera and I said that. I shouldn't even be here.
Yeah. And it's like,
I drove. There's literally a guy and he's standing there with like his little Dixie cup full of coffee and creamer. And he's just like, I actually drank half a handle and drove my baby girl to her birthday party where I finished the bottle. And she's like, yeah, I just farted and my public defender thought this was the quickest way to get out of it.
How do you sit there as a person knowing like if you're her, like, I know I am here. Continue silent.
Yeah, get silent. Sorry.
That's just
See, what scares me about this is like this is such a slippery slope. Like, where do we draw the line? Like, where does it become like, oh, we're just messing around, joking, kidding, haha, it's just a joke, to, oh my God, this is serious. Like, if she farted in her ex's girl's face or something, like in real life, that I can understand pressing charges on that, because that's probably not going to be really nice, and it's going to be really bad if someone farts in your face, and I understand pressing charges, that would make total sense. But it's like a cyber fart, like what's next? Like, are people going to get arrested for video calling their friends and like cussing them out on a video call or flipping them off? Or
Silent really has a scientific point here. If you can't taste the beef stew,
yeah,
it really isn't an assault.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. Like, it makes total sense. If someone farts in your face in real life, I get it. You want to press charges, cool. You have a pretty solid case there. But it's like over the internet, like, come on, bro. You could always just press the red button and hang up.
She's FaceTiming.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's a great point.
You
Like,
know?
why did you watch the whole video?
Well,
Like,
okay, so I appreciate Silent raising the inquiry here. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
And something that becomes a common theme here on the show is we become weary of the lines, right? Because we know that they'll draw a line so they can slowly move the goalpost. And I'm with you, Silent. Where do you draw the line? However, I don't find myself very concerned with a legal action like this because let's be real. If I send you a fart video, even if we're mortal enemies, you open the video, you're like, oh, this asshole. And you just, and that's it. However, when the prosecutor can go in front of the judge and go, Judge, this malicious act of cyber farting began in Christmas, continued through New Year's. Okay, now we've got a 2-week period. And the thing that's unfortunate about this article is it really doesn't identify how many times. Was it like, here's your Christmas, Happy New Year's? Like if it's 2,
that'd be
was
so
it like a
but if it was every day
like,
for 2 weeks and she's like, son of a
yeah,
ran
was
it
it like a
again.
script or
We
a
gotta
bot
go to
that
the
spammed?
local.
Just block her.
Yeah, that's a thing too. Unless she's like coming from like different accounts every time. Yeah, let me see your
Now
phone.
that'd be malicious.
That's harassment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. See, that's a case right there. Like if someone writes like a bot where it DMs you fart videos from different, like that's a case right there. That's just harassment, right?
It's hard to have your finger on the pulse with this one because we're talking about Britain. So like,
Yeah.
without you telling me how many times and to what extent or how she got in communication, was it her personal device? Why didn't she block her? Did she try to block her and it became multiple devices? There's a lot of factors that we really don't know. And the unfortunate thing is when you're talking about, I don't know, the UK, you don't really need to know. They're not going to like it could be something as egregious of one time and just the wrong person didn't like it.
They can hardly even do their own self-defense over there now. Now they can't even protect themselves from a cyber fart. Just saying, like they've stripped away everything from those people now.
Life is hard as a troll in the UK. So it won.
Yeah, land this plane. Let's see the gospel on the cyber farts.
I don't think there is any, man. You just created like a whole arm of the law. And here, I got something for you.
All right.
Driving on the street, there's like, or on the freeway, there's a big roundabout right here. Exit on the freeway, big roundabout.
Oh, okay.
And when you go on that roundabout, when you're exiting the freeway, there are signs along the exit that say no parking.
Yeah.
I was like probably 11 and my uncle goes, do you want to know how signs like that get here? Like where obviously you don't park. You can't park here. Who would park here? Who in their right mind would think this is open for you to park? Someone did.
Mhm.
And then we all had to pay tax dollars and put signs on every single one of them because if you didn't put the sign up, then that means I could park here. And they're like, fine, fuck it. Now we got to put signs on every exit on the freeway. So you see these things where like, what is law? The majority of law is not proactive, not created. It is precedent. It is reactive. It comes following the creation of law and watching it being implemented in the populace. So like we're sitting here and it's like, okay, social media harassment. That started to make sense. It wasn't law. They became law. You know, bullying, cyber bullying. All right, I got you. This makes sense. And then just like en masse statistics, 350 million people, you got 1% just poking buttons. This one found the fart one. Just and they're like, nope, no, none of that.
I cannot wait till the day that Apple puts in their terms of service agreement, no farting and sending it.
Doug, wait, hold on, dude. That's never going to be in a terms of service,
I understand,
especially when people are sending flaccid DPs.
I get that. It's just the idea is funny. Like
I'm with you, but it's like I'm in an unsolicited picture of a pickle I did not want. I think the last thing they're stopping is farts.
they're gonna bring it up in a board meeting. They're gonna be like, no.
How many Foster Snapchats got the caca? There's a lot worse things going through the pictures that like.
See, they
can't stop that.
That was that woman's problem. She sent it to her enemy. She sent it to the ops, not the lads. She sent it to the lads who are just like this fat bastard.
Mm-hmm.
That's an unfortunate reality we're living. Why do we let that slide? I think we're being harassed by our friends.
We're gonna see him at the golf outing. It'll be great.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's weird over there. I think this is just this. is a very specific hysterical example. There's a lot of other stuff going on over there where I'm like, that's not as funny, and that's kind of scary. This at least was like a joyous topic. I'm glad I heard of this young woman. I think she's stunning and brave for what she did. I think she's stunning and brave. She created a new. Honestly, if you go to certain websites, this is like a category. You could go watch it. They don't even care.
Which is funny. That comes back to one of the greatest Twilight Zone episodes of all time. Life comes down to the eye or nose of the beholder.
It reminds me, you brought up cyberbullying, and I guess, yeah, this would be kind of go into that. It just reminds me of the Tyler, the Creator tweet from like over a decade ago. He's like, how is cyberbullying real? Like, dude, just close your eyes. Like, walk
away from the screen.
Like,
He said that?
Yeah. Like, oh my
no.
God. You can look it up, dude. This is like one of the most famous tweets of all time.
Yeah.
He's like,
close your eyes.
He's like
Close
making
your
fun of
eyes,
people who say they get cyberbullied. He's like, dude, just walk away, close your eyes. And it's so.
And can we be real?
It's iconic.
That's coming from a human being that is getting so many more mean notifications than you.
Oh,
And yes, he's also getting so many more nice notifications than you, but he's also getting way more hate than you.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
I'm sure he's gotten a fart vid before.
Unfortunately, I think he liked it.
Yeah. It wasn't like get her.
Yeah. No, get her.
Like these people
to make more.
Like the other people genuinely contacted the police and had a serious conversation with them.
Oh,
like,
imagine the police report.
that's what I'm saying. Everybody else involved with this is like, I can't believe I'm doing. Not only can't believe I'm doing it, I'm getting paid.
Yeah,
I'm getting paid to defend this person.
Your tax dollars and the serial farters' tax dollars are all paying for me to write this police report about a series of fart videos. Yes. Now, I want you to picture the officer that's like, oh,
He just stops writing for like 2 minutes too. Like he's just like gathering thoughts.
And I'm gonna have to ask you to send those to my phone.
Do you have evidence?
I'm
Where
gonna need that for the prosecutor. So
Where is the
You know those
shit. Now you gotta send it
It's
to me
one of
too.
those things you got further in, like, I gotta see proof. I gotta see proof.
Whoa, wait. So, if she sent it to the officer's phone because she probably had to in order to get it to him, couldn't she then be charged for sending farts?
No.
I mean,
because
come on.
it really is just discovery exchange at that point. Like I'm just giving you the evidence. So, but that's why that scene is so comedic. Like he's got a phone that's not his. It's like the city's equipment tool for him to do his job. And he's just like, oh, now you got to send it to me. Damn it. My number is.
Then the instant they leave, walks into the room. Get a load of this shit.
Yeah, dude. As soon as they leave, bringing in all the cops, you are not gonna. Some dude's just like, they killed the K9. Today was crazy outside. And he's like, well, my day.
I hit my monthly quota. I don't know about you.
There's a quota on fart videos now. Cyberbullying is evolving before our very eyes.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is all like, and all like that would never happen in this country. You want to know what? You want to know why? Want to know why? Because the person that got the video, they would have gone to that person and assaulted them, and then that's the actual crime. That's then the crime. Okay, there would have been no like, no, going to the cops with the video. And they've been like, I'm kicking that bitch's ass, and now that's the actual crime.
Yes. No, I agree entirely. And here's what's funny. The thing I don't necessarily agree with is that it wouldn't happen here. I could see en masse, if you do something like this, it will rise to the level of harassment. You will get in trouble. The thing that I definitely don't think happens here, and this is the most like corn on the cob, curly Q, crazy thing you would find in Britain, is them coming up with the term cyber farting. We'd just be like, this guy,
Dude.
We've already got the statute, harassment, you did it. Like, just like disorderly conduct. There's like a video of a lady that's like, she hit the car in front of her and she's just freaking out. And the cops are trying to interview her and all the comments are like, I don't know why they let it go this far. Disorderly conduct is this like vague gray area that like they really could slap with anybody just because you're getting out of line. Okay, we got a catch-all for get out of line. Like, we're never sitting there going, hey, you know what I'm calling this? I'm calling it cyber farting. Because it's like cyberbullying, but she's farting. And you're just like, no. And the fact that a judge is like, and I accept that plea of guilty, and you are now a cyber farter.
You, 3 years jail. Like, all right.
300 euros, and you will pick up trash.
While she drinks some tea
I was going to say,
next to some beans.
don't miss the biscuit.
Dude, those people kind of piss me off in some way. There's something about it. There's something so anti-patriotic about that.
They don't have, they're not patriotic. What I will say is they also don't have teeth. So she's going to be sitting there with a whole, well, at least I excuse. Excuse are safe. You don't have a toothbrush.
I couldn't finish it. That was making me laugh too much.
All right. Silent. Do us a favor and help us land this plane.
Silent, put a tariff on cyber farts now.
Well, as I said earlier, where do we draw the line? Like, this is the start of something that is just gonna get really, really wasteful for the police, for the courts, for everybody. Like, we're gonna waste so many tax dollars now on people that after hearing and seeing this case, they are going to falsely or intently file a case of being cyber farted on. And it's unfortunate because, you know, you would think that the police, who are probably already exhausted and the resources are stretched thin, you would think that they would have better things to do and investigate than a cyber farting case. But unfortunately, here we are. I guess the UK really does not care about where their resources are being allocated to. And at the end of the day, I think this is one of those things that may seem like a good idea at first, but the more you kind of like stop and think about it, the more you start to realize that it's just a waste of resources at the end of the day for everybody and time.
Never.
You got what do they call them? Like, copycat killers. They're gonna have copycat farters.
Yep. Well, all right. My rapid thoughts are going to be this. First, where do we draw the line? As fun as we have with this topic, I do think the line is pretty clear. The line is excessive. I don't know where this particular case falls in what we would morally justify in our social contract, but I think it's safe to assume, because again, I kind of projected on our community. Like, let's say they missed the mark. Well, that's not my jury. Like, you guys are nutso. So whatever you guys find egregious, I'm not going to apply as what we think is egregious. But the common ground here is we would say the line is egregiousness. So the second it becomes something a group of 12 of us would deem is too much in too short of a period. Honestly, I even think if you did it once a year for like 3 or 4 years, like every day on your birthday, or even then, maybe that's too personal. Again, that's an easy argument. I'm trying to make it even harder. What if it's just Tuesday, March 7th, and you're like, this makes no sense. It's like, yeah, exactly. This is fart day now. So I think if you could show a pattern, you could, maliciousness shows itself with the standard of, I would say, egregiousness, harassment. And with that line being drawn, the craziest part of Silent's conclusion is just the slip of the tongue of just like getting farted on. And you're like, no, wait, hold on. No one's getting farted on. That's like, again, I made the reference. A bench warmer is straight up like assault. If you've seen the movie Benchwarmers. But this is just getting a video, an unpleasant video. Kind of like, I'm sure, there was a movie with, I think, Seth Rogen, and he was like a serial flasher.
Oh, yes, I know what one you're talking
like
about.
Bad Cops or Mall Cop or something. It was something like that. But like, there's people that do that, or definitely did that. And here's part of the problem too. Look at, right, you brought up schools. That's our current phenomena. There used to be the phrase going postal. There was a time where people were serial flashing. That was a thing, and it's kind of subsided. There's still some of that lingers in its own weird way. But I think the more it becomes a social trend, the more prevalent it becomes. And then we just find a new social trend of chaos. So I think this is the now thing. It'll evolve soon. You can't double tap TBAG in like your VR. Like if I did that, like your Halo, and I was like bang, and I was just like, one day you won't be able to do that.
I'm glad you acted it out because I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. Well, I didn't really
Fun
want
fact,
to.
in the game, you could get banned. No.
See, and guess what? That was a whole thing before.
Oh, it's
So that's
still
what I
is.
mean is like, see
I
how it
still do
evolves.
it.
It becomes a trend. Then we just move on to something else. So I think this will go away, but this is going to be the hot thing for a moment here. And I think we give it more weight and power than it really has. Getting farted on here. It's a video. It's a goofy, unpleasant video. And en masse really becomes a problem. I think the thing that stood out to me the most is just we have people in suits, top dollar, going home in their Beamer and biscuits. And they're just like, I declare you cyber-farted too much. You cyber-farted too much. That right there. Yes, that's a topic. Wrapping thoughts?
God, I never thought Peaky Blinders would come to life in real time.
You.
I think that country's a joke, and everything that just we talked about just is like icing on the cake now. Like it's hard to take them serious as a country. This is talking like grand scale. When it comes down to it, Daddy Macron is going to come to Daddy Trump and say, "Fix this." Okay, all of them over there are going to. And I want him to have second thoughts when I realize, like, it's called a cyber fart. This isn't a Yu-Gi-Oh attack, man. It is a cyber fart.
Did you hear Rhiannon? Rhiannon sent Susie a video of her cutting the wrong cheese.
That's how they would say it, too.
Darn it, Karen.
I don't have a lot of respect for them, but, like, it's dwindling. It's dwindling.
I got a video for you.
Dude, you can block people. I did love your point, though, like on, like, what? Like, March 7th is fart day. If I had a person who I knew had disdain for me once a year, maybe it's even my birthday, I don't care, and they sent a video of them farting, I would be like, I respect that dedication.
If they had an alarm that went off every March 7th,
7 a.m.
you would, like every person who develops Stockholm Syndrome, you would quickly fall in love with this person.
Oh,
Mad credit. Every day.
Every year. Kudos. Got me again. Every time. This, and again, well, probably sent you 14 vids over the span of 2 weeks. You didn't block them the whole time. Like, this whole thing is just, it's so bizarre. And then, like the idea of people in monkey suits and they're like going like, oh, I can't believe it. It's like, for real? What are we doing here? What, like, over here, business is handled differently.
Listen, you pay a fine, we slap you on the wrist, you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And we're going to find ourselves here again. But just to me, like you said, the whole rigmarole of like, Rihanna, never again, 300 euro, pick up trash, and you like, and then you gotta like apply to a job.
Dude, just think of all the farts, like the dry farts, the wet farts, the you're not sure farts. That cop got all.
And Doug, wrapping thoughts.
My wrapping thought is so simple. I can't
simple.
believe there's now a legal term, cyber fart. I can't believe someone has to say that with a straight face for the rest of their life. I don't know. That's my red thought. I mean, it's just so hilarious to me that is now a legal term there.
Well, now you're just gonna have like you said, copycats.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna become a series of things. What are you in for? Cyber farting. No shit, me too.
no shit. Literally, no poop, just fart.
Exactly. You got it. You're catching on.
Oh my god.
All right, transitioning now to, I think, the most provocative and the one I'm most excited for, the topic of the day. Discrimination at its finest. But you know me, I'm ready to double down. This was a video of a rapper. Her name is Dank DeMoss. Classy. Classy.
Wait, Dank the Moss or Dumoss?
Demoss. Demos. Rolls right off the tongue, just like Taylor Swift. So, Dank Demoss called a Lyft on her way to a Lions watch party, not like her friends, the animal, but like just the team watch party. So here is the video of the Lyft driver denying her service.
Lyft driver denied me service. BC of my size.
What you saying?
Why is the voice like that?
Mom, my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
Bro,
What
why
am
are
I
you-
doing about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be
Just
charged.
try.
So you telling
She
me
can't get you.
I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small.
Physics.
Believe
My best friend has a Benz.
My
that's more than you said I
suspension.
can fit in. That's the same car.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another Lyft.
Yes.
And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your
Homie, stop
tires?
stop reasoning.
Yeah, and you have
Just
no-
drive away, man.
Should have just drove off. Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah,
should have
hit
drove
the
off.
Yeah,
gas.
just like
6
you,
minutes ago.
what are you reasoning here?
Yeah.
Right.
How do you
Like,
know
hey,
that?
sorry, I can't take it. Vroom.
Yeah, just hit the cancel button and go.
Because I tried before.
It's like he cancels and drives off. And you're like, why'd you cancel? Couldn't see her.
Yeah.
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL experience.
I
No, I
forgot
don't
that.
Yeah.
have to
Man.
order Uber XL.
It's called Uber XL for a reason. He's right.
What's your name?
Abraham Travis.
Okay.
What's your name, dude? You have the
No.
app.
You have the app, exactly. With his number
It
too.
literally says his reviews, his car, his make, his model, his name.
License plate.
What's your name?
No, but if a driver cancels your ride, you cancels, you don't actually start the ride or anything, that information's not on your phone anymore. So if he was smart, he canceled it right away and she didn't get that information.
Well, he wasn't smart and she couldn't fit. So there were just two dumbass people talking right there. Like, that was ridiculous. I cannot believe that guy stood out. Nope, sorry, can't. You emergency. Whoop, get out.
The fact that there are literal options on the Uber app and the Lyft app for regular, large, extra, just like your waistband, extra large, double extra large, quadruple super bus, and you chose just a guy trying to make it. Like, have you ever gone to a big city and got an Uber? It's kind of it is the modern taxi. And these are just hardworking Americans trying to make it. And this lady, she's being discriminated
She
against.
literally went from revenue to expense upon just sight.
Yes.
Like, oh, there's my suspension bill.
Okay, so this snowballs into quite the story, right? Why I'm shocked is that it becomes quite the story. Because to me, on its surface, I think anybody sees this and scrolls right past it, as I did. Oh, but it doesn't go away. It becomes a whole thing.
Landing tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit
saw
Lions
the
watch
news.
party this month when her
Jesus
Lyft
Christ.
rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man,
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
No.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me, you can't.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the
Because that's not a real concern in the winter of a.
face. That was like my tires. You know,
The driver said his tires could not handle her weight.
every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car.
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL experience.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
He apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough.
Oh my God.
Dank DeMoss, as she's known at the crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know,
I'm looking at this
It
person.
really hurt my feelings.
It looks like Lyft might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys,
This is what's
John
crazy.
Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, you know, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to
Crazy.
have
Not the
Christians in my
same.
car, or Muslims in my
Not
car.
even
It's the
close.
same. Under the law, it's the
No.
same.
The
Not even
lawsuit
close.
is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
You know, Will's over here saying that she got big. It's she's got all these followers, and I didn't even do that intentionally. But the reality is, I'm sure this publicity stunt turned it, really helped it, grow. But you look at something like this and it's like, all right, here's her in dispositions. Here's some money grubbing attorneys that see an opportunity. They're not here for justice and rightness. They're seeing an opportunity and they're here to seize it. But the thing that stands out to me the most is when the slick-backed attorney gets to look at the camera and say, being obese is a protected class. And so this is a case of discrimination because we are looking at a protected class. I'm sorry, but I'm here to make a real legal argument. I think when it comes to protected class, if I put you in a room and lock you in there for 6 months and you still have that thing, that's a protected class. If you have broken legs and you're in a wheelchair and I put you in that room, you're handicapped. If you're black and I put you in that room and in 6 months you come out and you're still black, you're a protected class. If you are gay and I put you in that room and 6 months later you still come out gay, you're a protected class. See how those things are immutable, unchangeable, natural to who you are? But if you're utterly obese, if I put you in a room and locked you in there for 6 months and stuck you to only the dietary supplements I fed you, it ain't your truth, baby cakes, because you will come out a new human. So the bigger atrocity of this story is calling yourself a protected class.
Dude, she posted a photo with the lawyers.
Yeah, that's what we were showing up here. It's crazy. So again, you see two people that they see a legal precedent that they can exploit. It's a monetary opportunity to take advantage, but we all know deep down they don't believe it. The world doesn't believe it. And I know deep down she doesn't believe it. But you know what? I think I'm reaching. And how dare I put words in her mouth? And as the great thinkers before me had suggested, we should only judge people based on their character. So someone like myself with a persuasive and articulable ability to present my position and potentially not necessarily persuade, but at least develop a position of understanding. She is now in that position. She needs to convince the public. She needs to convince a court of law. And this is her opportunity to take the podium, speak to the people, and present her side of the story. And I think this alone says it all.
Let's talk about it. Since everybody in a bald-headed ass mama got something to say about Dank. Bitch, first of all, let's touch bases on the big bitches in the back that got something to say about me. I seen a bitch say go walk. Bitch, you cool. Like you only like one burger away from being my size. Like y'all hoes got me up. Bitch, stop calling yourself a BBW, hoe. Cause you not, bitch. Other BBWs don't put other BBWs down, bitch. Second of all, bitch, I never contacted Lyft. Then y'all talking about, oh, she posted a video for clout. I am the fucking clout. I've been doing this shit a long time. I posted this video because y'all got us up. Y'all always trying to put big people in a fucking category. Oh, big people this, or big da-da-da-da, or big this, and da-da-da. Stop doing that shit. Y'all want us to be in a fucking house, miserable, bored. Oh, cover up, or da-da-da-da-da-da. You can't wear that. You big, and da-da-da. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck the niggas and the bitches that's saying that shit. Bitch, I am a big person fucking advocate. And I'm not the only person that they did that shit to, bitch. I'm just the only person that's gonna stand up. I'm the only person that's gonna post the video. I'm the only person that's gonna speak up. I'm the only person that's gonna say something. I'm the only person that's gonna put a stop to that shit. Cause y'all got me up. Why the fuck y'all don't have an option on the fucking app that say, are you of size, or so that we can send you a bigger car? So that is humiliating. Like, what the fuck? Bitch, it's below zero. I'm outside and you pulling off on me, bitch. I don't give a fuck if you gave me my fucking money back. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like, y'all got us fucked up. Bitch, I'm not in the house. I'm outside. I'm showing my stomach. Fuck y'all talking about. Stop playing with me on this bitch ass internet.
And to you, I say, you are a pig. And I say thank you. I say thank you for taking the chance to speak. You speaking. I think we all would have seen a real injustice and we would have been cheated had you allowed the slick back millionaire attorneys to speak on your behalf. Your mouth is a window into what's behind your eyes. That's your brain, your intellect, and you are proving to us all, judging you solely on your character, you are a pig. And I say that boldly. So that way, when I do see a video of you dancing, and like I like her point. I go outside. I go outside with my shirt off. And as people that, there's clothes that I'd love to wear and I don't. And it's not because, I hate myself. It's because I have an acute understanding of my relationship socially to the world around me. And the most obscene thing is when you can boldly advertise yourself like this. Who around you is convincing you are not medically ill? For all you kind-hearted liberals out there, you want to have universal health care? When 80% of medical expenses are tubs, it's all fat related. So all of our medical expenses are, and you want us all to pay for this? You are going to die. You are proudly advertising your smoker's lung, your tumor, your wounded infection. You are ill. And this is the same as any other form of body dysmorphia. And everybody has their body image issues that manifest themselves in other ways. My uncle, 6'6", he will eat a quart of ice. He was being made fun of for being too skinny. He had to struggle with the fact that he could eat quarts of ice cream and couldn't put on a pound. We all have our struggles, but let's call the kettle what it is. You are fat. And I am someone that struggles with the same thing, but I would be doing myself and anyone else that seeks truth or looks up to me a severe disservice if I were selling them the same sack of false goods. I've got a lot more to say, but before I do that, I'd like to pass it off. Do you have any thoughts on Miss DeMoss?
I think I know how to fix her issue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like she likes dancing. Just do heads, no shoulders, knees and toes. You'd probably lose like a shit ton of weight because Lord knows you can't do none of that.
But then we live in a world where Lizzo can get, canceled for getting in shape and not being as welcoming to the other fatzos that were the background dancers that can't keep up anymore with the fitness regimen.
That was the same thing with like Adele. Adele lost weight. I remember.
Yeah, and everybody hated her.
And everybody hated her too.
Well, and that's why
you can't win.
But again, I appreciate you bringing up the Adele thing because that's what makes the folks like Lizzo and their capitalization on the masses that have this mental illness, this belief that this is their truth and it isn't a severe health issue. Capitalizing on that, when you make your whole brand, I'm Big Lizzo and this is my truth and you love me because I'm fat, not because I'm talented, but because I'm fat. Well, then when Adele gets super skinny, you are forced into position by your fans and your marketing team to damn her. And then it's so wild when the size 14 shoe is on the other foot and you gotta you're losing weight. Oh God. And I love Will made the passing point as we watched that video. I personally beat every single one of those. And that's why I look at you and I call you an utter pig. Because sitting here, do I sometimes let my tongue slip and I get caught up in the moment and I say bad things? Sure. a cuss word here or there, but it's never severe and it's within context. The fact that it's bit, and it's all just that's you. That's the depth of your ability to think. And yet we should have a legal system that bends over defending you. In fact, not only defending you, but crippling a guy just trying to make $1, a guy at work. And here's what's funny on top of that. How can we have an understanding that like a restaurant can deny a restaurant, a key maker, your lawnmower, anybody, they have the legal right to deny service. Here's a legal quagmire. Don't say why. Just don't say why. I deny you service because you're Catholic. Just don't say that. Just don't say that, and the Catholic can't sue you. Crazy how that works. So if I look at you and just go, no, I don't like the aura. You just become one of them. Start lighting your incense and just like, oh, I'm getting bad vibes. I don't like your aura. I'm out. Like, just don't say the why.
I like how she started off her rant saying you're all trying to fit fat people into a thing. It's like, we can't fit you into anything. Like, what are we doing here?
And again, we're living in a time period where an obese person is a victim when they take up multiple seats. And I'm not victimized because you're so obese, you're protruding into my space. I'm suffocating at your dispense because this is 7 cheeseburgers is my truth. You know what's crazy?
55 burgers, 55 shakes, 55 fries. Yeah.
Okay, so I go to him and I go, look at this. He goes, that definitely didn't happen with cheeseburgers. And then she literally says in her video, man, you're 1 cheeseburger away from becoming. No, I'm not. I'm not 1 cheeseburger away from becoming you. That is not how that works. And I look at, again, so let's do it. When you look at this, it's like,
yeah.
And I feel bad for the folks that are listening to us on the streaming podcast version because you just can't see this.
You ever see Austin Powers?
Don't say it. But the guy, Fat B,
yeah,
he doesn't come close. I mean, this is, look at those legs, man.
Do you think if she fell on me, I'd die?
Ask Wee Man. He tried it in a Jackass movie.
But oh my God, you're right.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I guess
you would survive.
I guess I would. I'm sorry.
You'd have the time of your life.
Continue.
But when you look at something like this, you see this takes work. Like that is aggressive effort. This isn't your truth. This isn't happenstance. You aren't a victim. You pushed through so many grueling moments where your brain's like, we're done.
Do you think
we have hit the wall?
Do you think you hear her coming like a T-Rex? Do you think the water displaces?
We need a break in the studio. Silent, what are your thoughts?
I mean, look, this is honestly ridiculous. It really is. And the fact that someone is saying something that I can actually control, and because I can control this something, oh, now all of a sudden you're discriminating against this something that I can control. Like, you can't really control your race. You can't really control where you're from, right? Those are things that are actually can be used against you, and you could be discriminated against for those things. But there's one thing which you can control out of this whole list that her lawyer said, and that's your weight. You can actually control your weight. That's a possible thing. So the fact that this lawyer is even comparing something that you can't control, which is like your skin color or where you're from, to something you can control, which is your weight, is ridiculous. I think any sensible judge is going to throw this case out so fast because she doesn't really have a case. It's like, and then she complains about, oh, there's no options on the app. Yes, there is.
Oh my God.
There's a green Uber. There's a Uber XL. There's a Uber SUV. Like, if you don't want to get a normal Uber, that's just a sedan, there is literally a button for an SUV, and then there's a button for XL, which is usually just like a large Tahoe or a large like Escalade. Like, if that's like, if you know you're a big size person and you want options, they're there. You're just not looking.
First off, I love that Doug just throws out Uber Pet. And my message to you, Miss DeMoss, is you should really take a look in the mirror when that guy will drive around a Great Dane before you. But I also follow that up with Silent's point where he's like, hey, this will never stand. Like, this will be thrown out right away. So as that attorney presents, the courts in Michigan have determined obesity, fatness, as a protected class. So while you were talking there, I'm like, Google, how many states have weight as a protected class? And it's going to stand silent. And that's why it's being able to be exploited here, because there is only one state in the United States that classifies weight as a protected class, meaning it is the only state with the law explicitly prohibiting discrimination based on weight, which is crazy. And it's one of those, like, where does this type of discrimination law meet the person, producing service or producing the good, the other end of the contractual agreement, if they also have a legal right where they don't have to give service to people they don't like, they can deny service upon will, but you can't do it based on a discriminative class. So again, it comes back to just don't say the why. You're going to pop my tires. Just leave that part out, dude. And like Will said, just keep driving. Like, what are you doing?
Cancel and drive. Yeah.
Like 30, like a minute longer than needed to. Like more than a minute longer. That should have been like 30. He shouldn't even stop.
Yeah, to give her the chance to
film. Could have seen the photo, looked, whoa, kept going. Didn't even stop. She would have been like, was that the guy?
How about this? She's like one of those Tinder girls that, like, the face looks big, but you really don't see how big until you see them. Really, it's just how that's how weight displaces anyway. So naturally, this guy is going to deny anyone that's even close on the line. Chubby cheeks, nope. Just anything, nope. You might be tricking me. I don't know what's under that profile picture headshot.
No, fatty boombalatti, no.
Doug's itching to jump in. Doug, what?
Well, no, I can get his claim of worrying about his tires because you guys know my friend from high school. He was a big boy, and my other friend just had a small little Kia Spectra, whatever it was called, and it's a tiny little SUV. If he sat in the back on like either one side, you would hear the tire rubbing against the wheel well, and the car would barely be getting along. So it got to the point where he had to sit in the middle and kind of spread his weight out in the middle of the back seat. And that was the only way it was able to fit in that car because he actually had to replace a tire because it got so worn out rubbing just after like a few times. It was insane. So I do kind of get his point. You don't want that. And then suspension, God knows, he got rid of that car before he had to deal with it. But I'm sure that wasn't good for his suspension, the up and down and him getting in and out of that thing and everything. So
Can you imagine that woman in the back of that car and they come up to a speed bump and it just doesn't go up. It just sits and hunkers in.
Dude,
and you gotta discriminate against me?
Exactly.
Big old me?
And so Doug, could we at least agree in kind of the personal story you give us here? This is kind of the same car. Right? Like,
it's a small little sedan.
Like, come on.
So that's what I'm saying. I get it.
Like, cut a guy a break. So we talk about Lizzo. We talk about Adele. And now I want to transition this hot topic to a guy named Dave Blunts.
Hey, Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, get everybody on your feet.
Snoop Dogg.
It's crazy, dude.
The only thing singing louder than him is that couch.
Man, look at
singing
that
to the
couch.
heavens, save me.
Dude, come on. And the
Did
fact
you ever see?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This guy did. Saw a music video. He was in it. He's like falling from the sky like a meteor. It is so funny, and the lyrics are so. Do not play them on this.
Oh, no.
They would get you in trouble.
Oh, we're not. Yeah, no, we can't.
Look at that skinny girl with him on stage too.
The dude's got an oxygen.
What are you talking
tank.
about? That's his appetizer.
Bones.
He's got a freaking oxygen tank up there.
That's what I mean. Like, one, they had imagine two guys. This concert probably started at 7 p.m. He's an opener for Tyler, the Creator, let's say. And two guys, 3 p.m. in neon vests. Their job is to put the couch on the stage, and they're just looking at each other like, this is for the fat guy. You know, the guy that they wheeled in here?
yeah. And then the other guy carrying the goat, he's like, dude, he paid for me to get forklift certified to get him up on this damn
I
thing.
needed a CDL to get him in the stadium.
Dude, he's got two drivers. He's got his driver and his forklift.
This is crazy.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. To me, I think we're lying to ourselves. And my question to the public, to the people that boldly advertise themselves as the liberal, loving, kind-hearted folk out there, what justice do you do to a guy like this when we know, the world knows you're lying? You're lying when he reaches for another cheeseburger. You're lying.
I know what to do. Here's the justice you do to him. You get him one of those things where you put like a hat on him with the string in front, with the cheeseburger in front. You say, go get it.
No.
And he just keeps going and going and going. And then once he loses enough weight, then he can get it.
No. Can I tell you what you do?
Ozempic.
Well, not a bad idea. Just saying.
I mean,
but
that's
guess
not
what?
a bad idea. Yeah.
There's guys like him and Miss DeMoss that could probably out-eat an Ozempic. So we gotta talk real hard-hitting facts. And the fight in this, I got no beef with the individual. Just like the guy that wants to cover himself in tattoos to look like a lizard, split his tongue, put, the bumps in his head, the little whatever. You want to do all that? We've got he's allowed to turn himself into a lizard. You're allowed to turn yourself into flubber. This is a free America. You can do whatever you want. However, this is a war against truth. And that's really all we're talking about. Well, all we got to do is just acknowledge truth. And so the real issue is when we lie to ourselves and these people in the sick situation with a mental health issue, telling them this is truth. So what do? You fight the real problem, not these people. I've got no beef with Miss DeMoss and her fourth pizza box. My biggest problem is an ideological infection, a disease. And in my opinion, this is the best way to fight it.
This is a queer fat club.
I'm queer and fat.
Okay, thank you for joining. We're just introducing ourselves at the moment.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Joe?
Yeah, my name's Joe. I go by he, they, and I identify as 275 pounds.
Okay.
I feel like Jay's kind of making fun of me, though. I know it's kind of a shock. I know, kind of a new thing.
I'm just,
Do what?
I said I apologize.
Oh, no, you're good.
Are you comfortable leaving the group at the moment?
Why?
I'm not understanding why you're joining the group.
This is the queer and fat group now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I came here for.
Okay. And you said you identify as fat?
Yeah.
Okay. This is just for fat-bodied people.
Yeah, I understand. I identify as a fat-bodied person.
I'm not understanding where you're coming from.
Are you guys comfortable with me here? I mean, I'm pretty chill on my end.
I'm not comfortable, no.
Yeah, so the solve here is
I'm not-
fighting their logic with their faulty logic.
I'm not comfortable. No.
Oh.
I wish we got to see just a bit more to see. Oh. Damn. I thought I found a spot for me.
Well, and that's the truth. It's, I don't feel safe here, but I'm supposed to call you a fox or a they because that's what's supposed to make you feel safe. So you don't care about what makes me feel safe. And again, we will do mental gymnastics so far as to call somebody willing to cut their hair super short and dye it blue. We'll call you a fairy. We'll play ball. But the second a skinny guy wants to call himself fat, deep down, your inability to find acceptance, I'm sorry, highlights it all. It tells us how, one, I'm going to deny, just like, I can pull it up right now if we have to. NPR says 9 out of 10 trans people are autistic. So you're probably just autistic. I'm just saying, you probably have this inability to reconcile why you're socially belonged. You're an outsider.
So you're telling me I'm the 1 out of 10?
How'd I know? Get rid of that extra chromosome. We could talk.
Oh shit.
No, but keeping it grounded. You're looking at somebody that has an issue socially relating and fitting in. And these types of terms, safe spaces, social plays that they play, these games that they're playing, it is all of us. It's a symptom of their inability to fit in and their jealousy of wanting to fit in with the other. And so I'm going to make my own. Well, when that other tries to invade that space, to me, it's an acknowledgement that you're abnormal. Because if what you were doing was normal, then you wouldn't need to keep out people. You wouldn't need to find others. Because guess what? All the kids on the jungle gym, as you're stuffing yourself full of Twinkies or wanting to paint your nails and wear a skirt, all of that looking over and seeing them in the in and you in the outs is a result of, and again, how come in Greece 2,050 years ago, we could say you were not within social norms, which wasn't a problem. Didn't mean we needed to crucify you, but it definitely did mean you weren't the social standard. And we're doing this lie, this mental gymnastics to ignore the fact that this isn't a norm. Okay, so you're selling me the fact that this isn't the norm, but when that guy invades your space, you need to keep him out. But I thought you were the norm. So if gender and sex is a spectrum for everybody, then you can't keep any of us out. We all got to play ball. No matter how much we make it difficult for you for your little Zoom or challenge your logical equation. But if it's the norm, then you need to let the majority that self-identifies as the norm into that safe space, into that space, and it still be safe. Because if it isn't safe by your definition, then that really isn't a safe space. It's your dictatorship by your rules and the way you see the world. So before we parse that apart any further, Silent, we have presented a whole lot. What are your wrapping thoughts on the big people wanting Lyft, big artists pushing this as their narrative, their truth, and really this ideological cult that calls it their truth and combats the rest of our reality?
Look, at the end of the day, you're sick. Okay? Whether you want to accept it or not, this is a disease. Obesity is a sickness and it's a disease. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can work on curing yourself and fixing your body. Because guess what? When your body's like that, your time is extremely limited. You're putting your body under tremendous amount of stress. Your body is already under a lot of stress just living a normal life, even if you don't overeat and are not obese. So imagine adding another 200-300 pounds to that, and imagine how destructive that is to your body. Most of these people want the world to bend to their illness and sickness, but the reality is, guess what? Nobody cares, dude. Just lose some weight and take care of yourself, because guess what? If you don't, life will take care of you pretty soon and you won't be here to enjoy it.
Well, what I would say is this. I can appreciate... I'm so glad I accidentally clicked behind that page. So now let me present to you my wrapping thought. Firstly, this was a picture of an obese man that would travel through the world, the National Fair in 1880, 230 pounds. That's what a spectacle that people would pay money to see. This is so abnormal, so obscure. People paid dollars to look at the attraction, which is now the casual Walmart shopper. That's what we're looking at. This is en masse America. We call it our truth, which was a spectacle when our breads weren't compromised, when our Doritos didn't have dye, when your chicken didn't have breast genetic modified to be 1,000,000 times its size, and when you could get 50 nuggets for $5. That's your 50 nuggets right there. And that's his truth.
Browns need him at middle linebacker. That's all I'm
Or
saying.
lineman, man. He looks good.
230 pounds? It's a
Listen,
linebacker.
we've had plenty of fatties that can't pull their weight. You need to be an athletic big boy.
We need Dave Blunts on the line, man. That's what we need out there.
I look at this and it's a reality that we try to ignore, we try to hide. And
That being said, though, not to cut you off, like I agree, but like at the same time too, it's like, dude, your average soldier in the Civil War was 5'7". You know what I mean? Like your average, like that was like 6 foot for them back then, was like 5'7". So like I do believe over time individuals like we as a species have grown, especially in this country. I'm just more at the rapid growth at which we've grown from 1880 to 2025, going from 230 being obese to easily 650, and we're like, there's more of them popping up.
yes,
But like the idea of like, oh, that being the biggest guy, it's like, yeah, sure, I guess comparatively, but it's like if you were to take their biggest individual with the average, you would see a greater disparity in this generation than back then.
Wait, you think?
Yes.
Wait.
100%. I'm saying your average say your average individual in this country is 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Sure.
Right. That's your average. The abnormal is your Dave Blunt, 6 foot, 650 pounds. Like it's that much wider than
more abnormal. That's more normal now.
It's becoming more normal now than back then. It was more abnormal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is the one guy.
But it's
whereas now that's every Walmart shopper,
right?
And the spectacle is that guy times 4.
But the average like body of an individual back in like 1880 was probably like 5'7", 170 pounds. You know what I mean?
Potentially.
But again, 5'7", 170, then 230 being the obese. 220 to 650 is a huge step up.
Huge.
That's what I mean.
And
so
I guess I don't know if this is.
I still agree with your point.
Of,
I'm just saying, like, I'm more surprised at the rapid acceleration of like the normal to abnormal.
Yes.
That's the part that I'm
again, we've
really
talked about it on the show. But if you look at a picture of a beach or a picture of a baseball game in 1970, dude, that's not that long ago. 50 years ago, half a generation ago,
I know what
the entire stadium is skinny. You would actually fail to find the fat person. What were you going to say?
Smoking was legal.
It still is.
I'm saying like it was more a societal norm.
I think it is so much less. Smoking saved people from being fat.
It's one cause it's also the red dye and all that thing. It's a numerous of things, but it's like you didn't see any of them. And I'm gonna be honest, our grandparents were chain smoking cigarettes. Like that is, and like they never got big. Nicotine does help with that. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the only reason. I'm just, and I'm not even advocating to make it a thing again. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you're right. You didn't see it within like 40 to 50 years. It probably went, yeah, your obese person was probably 320 pounds.
But also, Will, like, okay, yeah, maybe, our grandparents and all that were smoking. My grandma
everybody.
didn't smoke.
As I was saying, nowhere
she was
near
still skinny. What
even
it was
50%.
is they were eating healthier, better
that's
stuff,
everything.
not the trans fat,
Dude,
not the
I'm
processed.
bringing it up
Hang
as
on, not even the
one.
high
I'm not
fructose.
saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying that is one of the factors.
I would imagine it was a thing that existed. It was a factor that wasn't it wasn't not prevalent. It was there. It was present. However, I think why Doug and myself are even kind of pushing back a little bit is I think it was so minuscule compared to all the other things that are why. Like, again, if you take a picture of a stadium, if every row for 100 people is all skinny, out of 100 of them, 40 of them are smoking, yet all of them are skinny. It's their bread. Their bread isn't supposed to be on a shelf for 4 months. Their milk was different then. Everything to a degree. So I think it was our diet. I also think, dude, look at a video of New York in 1980. Not everybody had a car. So if you wanted to get around, you had to get around like Europe. Walk. Could you imagine telling that lady, Miss DeMoss, you gotta get yourself to the studio today?
Dude, she can't even look up a one flight of stairs and not think that's a challenge.
And again, that comes to people in our lives that we associate with we see on a daily basis, and you've seen the life that they've fallen into. And it's because one day they told themselves, I can't do the steps. And now they've literally crystallized into fact, You cannot do the steps. Even if today you decided, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna take that. You actually can't. You've made a world where you can't do the steps. So I agree. I understand, somebody who would take personal offense to this dialogue, comes to the defense of, well, if you snowball to such a degree to that down that path, your metabolism slows down to a point where you can't get back. Well, one, I think that's the thing you tell yourself. That way, the personal existence you're living doesn't hurt as much. Because the truth is, your metabolism does slow down to make it harder, but Big Fat Loser and everything else has shown us it isn't impossible. And it comes back to the immutable characteristic argument I made. It isn't a truth. If I can put you in a room and starve you and you no longer exist like that, or if I had you a personal trainer that didn't allow you to leave, you wouldn't exist like that. So kind of circling back so we could get our closing points here, as Silent brings up, this is taking a real strain on your body. This is a physical injury, a health problem. And I don't open the door to a dialogue like this because it's fun being cruel, punching down. Listen, I struggle with those same issues. I relate to it. But I think if we create an echo chamber of lies, we're only going to snowball in the wrong direction. And so we should all in unison agree that a society that allows people on a daily basis for their body to just walk around feeling like this, just gripping, holding on. That isn't a good way of life. That is a lie. And then you want my tax dollars to pay for all of your medical issues? This comes back to the rich man north of Richmond. I shouldn't have to pay for your Rolo addiction. Plain and simple. So I look at this issue. This is you. This is your body on a daily basis. You call it your truth. The rest of reality tells you no. Also, Michigan, losers, assholes, can't win. Nobody likes you. Ohio's humbling you. You suck. I'm talking to you, Michigan. Statistically, take a look. 49 of us are like, you're a dummy. And you're sitting here going, we got it figured out. We're one of the good ones. We're mostly blue, except for the last time we got sick of it. The guy that got shot in the ear, he was a good one. He was a good one. But most of the time we're good. We're blue. We're good. You're dumb. You're dumb. And yes, it's because I hate Michigan. But also it's because you're logically defunct. The fact that 49 states can sit here and go, yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid. Those people were owned by other humans for 100 years. Beaten, raped, all of it. These guys were never allowed to marry their spouse. You just can't stop eating chocolate. You are not a victim. Plain and simple. What are your wrapping thoughts?
Bro, hit the treadmill. Keep the instant they bring up metabolism, I'm like, yeah, you don't like stairs. Get over it. If the Moss, the big one, the honk, was to just get on a treadmill for 20 minutes a day for a week, for a month, how much weight do you think she loses?
That's what I mean.
I bet you
could lose 100 pounds pretty quick.
I bet you she lose 50 to 70 pounds in a month.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just sticking to 3 meals a day. I'll even give her 3 meals a day. Still.
Not drinking soda. That's a big one, too.
Dude, soda has nothing to do with that at this point. Soda has nothing to do with that.
You'll lose a lot of weight if you stop drinking soda.
Dude, she would lose a lot of weight if she just stopped anything. She just
started moving.
She just walked around the block twice a day, drank water.
That's it.
Do you know how many hors d'oeuvres you could have helped yourself to if you just walked to the Lions
Dude, she
party?
goes and gets 5 tomahawks for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you don't look like that on 1, 2, 3, 4 cheeseburgers. It gets a lot of cheeseburgers.
She's the kind of girl that would order a Diet Coke and be like, but it's healthier.
Minus the poison that's within it.
Oh,
it's healthier. I got diet. I'm on a diet.
And then she would just start cussing up a storm.
I'm watching my
that's what I'm
calories.
saying. we totally need to circle back to how vile her mouth is, which tells us how vile her mind is. And yet we're going to let this person dictate our society and give advice to young people.
Do you think she walks through the door sideways?
Dude, look at that.
Waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle.
She for sure does.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like if she's entering that Detroit Lions party, you know she's walking up and their beers are like dispersing like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Like they just know.
I like Alan Hirsch. I know a lot of people that say that about Diet Coke. That is an unfortunate reality, but again, we should cough up cash for their universal campaign.
White women, dude, Diet Coke is drunk by two types of people: skinny white women and just big old women. They love that shit, dude. Like they love it. They eat it up.
And it's funny you bring up
and
Diet
they don't
Coke.
lose weight.
You want to know why? Because they go, it's diet. Because we got it down to 0 calories. How'd you do that? We chemically made a whole bunch of flavors. Oh. And then what did we find out? It's given us all cancer. Cancer.
Or turns to poison.
Dude, I'm telling you, that girl, if she were to do heads, shoulders, knees, and toes, she would lose weight. Because there's no way.
How crazy is that? You say it as a joke. Real point.
No, I'm not saying it as a joke. I'm being like, I thought of it as a joke in my head. I'm like, you should probably actually get a workout.
So, because that, again,
how do you,
the most you've moved this week.
Yeah.
But it's my truth.
And I believe her. I so believe her. You know what? We're the problem. I'm the problem.
Yeah, I'm realizing we are the problem. You know what? This is the second time he's gone for it, so I am curious. Aiden Hirsch said electronics did the same thing. Everyone gained so much weight because of phones and electronics. You know what's crazy? Okay, hats off to Aiden. We'll get a little side topic here. I have a 7-year-old, my cousin's kid. So a cousin loves that Fortnite. He'll gwitty on a bee 10 times in a night. Great. He's a great partner for squadding up.
Wee little lad.
But you know what's funny is I got the episode up and ready earlier today, got the media downloaded and into the system early today, and I had about 45 minutes to have some chipotle, moderately sized, only one burrito, because I am living my truth with a water. And I'm playing Fortnite. Here comes Nolan. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, he wants to play. Let's squat up. Let's dive in. Where we dropping, boys? No. Kids today, they only do creative mode. And they're just like free playing. All right. I'm only giving you the diatribe, the long background, because dude, he kept calling me his uncle. They're like, dude, your uncle sucks. I didn't think I sucked that bad. And one, it's really crazy, like hearing that, and it's like, oh man, I'm the old guy playing with the kids now. Yeah, that's me, dude. Didn't like it, didn't love it, but like I'm playing, and it's just getting a vibe for kids at play today.
Yeah,
right. Hats off to Aiden Hirsch for bringing like a fun topic here, because I'm watching like kids pop in. Nolan, why'd you block me? Oh, did I block? Oh, I guess I accidentally did. I'm so sick of playing with Forrest. Like, this guy drives me nuts. You forgot to mute? And it's like, dude, same petty kid crap.
Same
as Halo days.
Aiden Hirsch nails it with a great point. They are all docile, dormant in the house. Do you know what I'd be doing on a day like today? If you were to pull me and poll me like CNN. You polled me at, let's say, 8 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old, and 17 years old. In the prime of my youth, playing outside and playing with people. If you were to ask me at that time, what is your favorite season? I'd go, I love summer because I like playing baseball. I love fall because I love football, and I love my birthday's in October, and I love October. But my favorite season, it was a time of year. It was never a month. I lived for the days where winter transitioned into spring. And sometimes during that period of like late February, March, April, you'd get a couple of them. It'd snow again, and then it would warm up. And because we live the lake effect, we live by a lake. But I loved it because, dude, it'd be warm out. I didn't need my coat. I could take the snow and make a ramp, and we'd be riding our bikes just like in my front yard, just little hops. Lived for that shit. Scrape my knee here and there. Get in a fight with a kid in the cul-de-sac because we're picking out whatever it was. Like, that's building character, that's growing, and that's exercising, developing a different truth, mind you. And so what's wild is how we've evolved for like kids and I would look at Nolan, this kid, 7-year-old, he plays football, baseball, athletic kid. But when he gets home, they all jump. I mean, the thing he needed Santa to bring him was a headset. And these kids are freaking wild on that headset. Let me tell you. But that's the new thing. Could you imagine going, Mom, I'm going to go home with Forrest and Mrs. Johnson. I'm going to go. Can you pick me up at his house at 6? That was my life. That doesn't happen anymore. I'm getting on the bus and going at home, and we're all going to log on. Forrest doesn't know I blocked him, so he'll figure it out when we get home. But like,
Forrest, loser.
Dude, it was so funny. Owen, did you block me? Oh shit. Oh, did I do that?
This dork.
Dude, Kevin, I told you, stop inviting Forrest.
You at the ripe age of 31, just what am I doing here? Why am I talking to these kids?
Dude, there was a TikTok of a guy. He's like, all right, I just turned 30 and just want to know for the other people in their 30s, are we doing this? Like, are we telling people we play Fortnite, or are we pretending like, nah? And my comment was, I broadcast it as loud as I can. The game, you will see me or twitching on the Rethink Tank page. Fortnite.
That is the reality we live in, folks.
So I agree with Aiden Hirsch. Electronics does a major piece of it. That is now the major crux of our development. And we're only going to, so again, like Wall-E, you could become a giant mass and just a organic brain for the computer. Here's another question here. What happens? What happened to the
map behind Will?
Oh,
He was saying it's going
Womp
down.
womp.
Why is it down? Because Will is on fire. I don't know if you've seen his hair. It's literally warping because he's so hot.
It's the
Fire, baby. Oh, I think they pressed the wrong button. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Do you see what you did for Salah? Do you see what you did?
He's not real.
Yeah, you got tricked by
This is not a real person.
Why? Yeah. Well, just know it won't be down for the next episode.
Part of what? What do you say? Narnia and Mongolia?
Russia and that's what's
Do
down.
you miss them? You missed them? Shit. Sorry.
It's pretty warm in the studio, and literally Doug just pointed it out when we walked in. He was like, looks like Asia's taking a hit.
Trump took it down with his laser.
Tape wasn't working, and that was going to be a temporary fix. We will have it glued and sexy for the next episode. Okay, we have really belabored a point, and I think we've gotten through to the folks. Doug, I'm going to give you one chance to give us a wrapping thought, and then we transition into our last topic.
Okay. My wrapping thought is this. Based on the woman's video and based on my knowledge of South Park, I think she might have Tourette's.
I was going to say, I think she works for Disney, but we're on different pages. Moving on to our last topic of the day. This is an NFL catastrophe. What are the folks like Roger Goodell and the All Holy Saints gonna do now that emails have come out revealing that the New Orleans Saints football organization did damage control for a clergy who did abuse through a crisis and they helped the marketing team escape it. Now, I could, for the sake of time, we're going to probably not go down through all of the rabbit hole, but there are specific actors involved here. And predominantly, the one that I want to highlight is the New Orleans Saints vice president of marketing and advertising management. Because here's the interesting piece. He's the one facilitating the majority of these emails. Now, a lot of these emails are going, I'm confident they are playing nothing more than this is Roger Goodell. So Roger Goodell comes to the defense of the New Orleans Saints because he's now doing damage control. He's like, listen, it's not the NFL. If anything, it's
story
specific
is
actors.
just like super recent. Or has
Yeah,
this been, like, an
literally.
ongoing
This was
investigation?
breaking like yesterday.
Super Bowl week, and he's got to deal with this.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Which again, you gotta wonder, dude, where's the Super Bowl?
Atlanta?
New Orleans.
Oh my God! I
So
forgot.
this is specifically timed to be a hit right now. But Goodell came out and said, I'm confident they are playing nothing more than a supportive role to help to be more transparent. Yeah, you see?
I read that so wrong at first.
Yeah,
They were like, I
yeah.
was playing with.
You're like, don't watch your words there, Roger.
Yeah, we were playing with. Whoa.
To just try to be supportive right now and being transparent. But the litigation filed in 2020, which again shows why is it breaking news now? Litigation filed in 2020 involves more than 600 people who say they were abused by the clergy. The case has produced a trove of still secret church records said to document years of abuse and a pattern of church leaders transferring clergy without reporting their crimes to law enforcement. But again, it comes down to the last name Bensel. There's specific coordination where we're sitting on an opportunity now with the Archdiocese of New Orleans. We need to tell the story of how the Archbishop is leading us out of this mess. We did this because we had to buy in from you, supporting our mission to be the best, to make New Orleans and everything within her bounds the best. He talks about how we got to remain to keep this confidential, not for publication, nor to share with others, and then proceeds to continue in conceding all that he knows, all of the abuse, all of the documentation, all of the evidence, how we need to suppress it, how we need to use our influence, our financial backing, and our connections within the city to suppress it, to control the narrative and protect. Why? Hey, big dog. Hey, big dog. Do you want to know what I have to call my flipping baseball team? The Guardians. And they weren't raping anybody. So, like, I'm looking at you going, you did all of this. Why? I think the more admirable position is to, like the Crusades, defend my religious sect. However, really it was, what, you didn't want to change the name? Yeah, we got to save the sanctity of saints because you don't want to be the New Orleans Sand. I'm going off of Guardians logic. Indians,
New
Guardians.
Orleans Devil.
Yeah, like, it's just like, I don't know. What provoked this? And based on my reading.
I got a new name. New Orleans Diddlers. Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
P. Diddy's doing the halftime show now.
There you go.
Right?
It's a Diddy
Ain't not
party.
like us. Ain't not like us.
I look at this and it's either a blindfold willingness to defend a religious sect regardless of its sins, or it's even worse, which is you just don't want to change your name, or you're protecting like a long-time franchise name. It has no. This is the craziest thing ever. And as somebody who's baptized Catholic and definitely denounces all of the sins and atrocities the Catholic Church and the Vatican are responsible for. But here's what I never really appreciated over the last, like, let's say 15 years. there's like this social understanding of priests and their criminal background. But just like cops, it's like that's an unnecessary or unfair projection on everybody. But also, this was a network that protected and hid such terrible crimes. This is where I get a little provocative and step on some toes. You
got it.
I don't want to say it. The Judean
Jesus' team?
No.
Oh.
This is the other team. The Michigan to his Ohio State. Judaism. So the position of them is we are the chosen people and everybody else is cockroaches. Don't know if I actually think like that's a good thing. Like that you can look at people as Gentiles, the other cockroaches inferior. Don't love that. When I look at like Islam, nobody has actually read the Quran with a logical brain. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be like, woo! Why? Because like, again, read about how Muhammad can take his 8-year-old daughter off of from school and fix his urges without her permission, will, or suggestion, because this was a quote for the proof of how women must succumb to the male urge. So here's my problem. When we have like a dialogue that like throws stones at like this element of the Catholic or Christian position, we fail to recognize that the priests that carried out the atrocities and the popes and the bishops that created a network that hid it and really facilitated it, that's against the book. Like everything I just said, that is in their book. It isn't in the Bible that this is an okay thing. So like when you go, you shouldn't give people with a cross any sense of mind because priests, well, the priests broke the rules of the book. But if I look at the other things that I mentioned, that's in the book.
Yep.
So to me, it's sad that somebody like this can have a warped mind for money, financial or franchise, professional growth, and put on the glasses of willful ignorance so they can convince themselves they're doing right to further what's good for their religion and do what's best. But really, there is no benefit beyond ancillary individual personal benefit with the result and symptom of all of this catastrophe. So with that being said, Silent, what do you make of this?
Yeah, we talked about this before about how a lot of these companies don't really care. They're just pandering and they just want to make money. And this is exactly what this is. Like, this is just clearly a move to make a lot of money. Like you guys said, Super Bowl is right around the corner. That's just straight up what it is. Because if they really cared, they would have just like supported those communities and donated to them instead of just like, oh yeah, now we're going to change and all that and act like we care. But newsflash, you don't really care. We all know you're just doing it for money.
No, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to add anything to it?
Not particularly. I mean, like it's funny enough. I'm thinking of like the name changes that have happened in recent memory, particularly ours and Washington. It's like both of them. Why? Because they were insensitive, but it's like they don't view this as insensitive. They just view this as we don't want it to come to light. We don't want to talk about it. So we're just going to throw money at it, throw it to the side.
And there's real victims here.
Yeah, there's like, actual like repercussions rather than some people just get like offended by like the word Voldemort or whatever. Right. Whereas this is like, oh no, there are actual victims in this. Nah.
You will have a human being, an American of Native American descent, standing in front of Cleveland Indian Stadium with a picket saying, I am a victim and can show no legitimate real world injury.
Right.
And we placated to that.
Yeah.
And here you have 600 people that can draw a direct correlation to the injury, the damage that was protected and concealed by this organization. And we're going to go, but Drew Brees,
Yeah, you know what? So it's like it's one of those. There's not really much for me to add. Nothing about this surprises me, and especially it being Super Bowl week. And like, I read the topic and I was like, "What?" Like, didn't even know. And it's like I
Slipped
forgot.
my
Like, it's
mind.
happening in New Orleans as well. So it's like, yeah, they don't care.
No.
They view it as like, yeah, they went through Katrina. They're fine.
Well, and no, this is a hot topic. It's searchable. The fact that this was filed in 2020 and it takes 5 years to gain any sense of relevance. Real question is, hey, Roger Goodell, you're sitting here going, I'm sure there's a sense of transparency. 5 years into this thing, you should know. There should be literally like no room for assumption. You should have had with your $1 gajillion industry. You should have every answer of understanding we could ever come up with. Any inquiry we could present you, you should have a full identification. Names, actors involved, to what extent, dollar amounts used, how much this was the letterhead of the team name, the brand, the company, your organization. Where did its involvement start and end? Was it your NFL reporters that were getting a call from their team to look the other way, to fluff up the piece this way? How was this being twisted or otherwise being ignored with the power or momentum of the NFL behind it? And we're 5 years into this thing, and it's a breaking story because it's a slow news week and it's searchable as a hot topic right now because we got the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
I was gonna say it's crazy to say it's a slow news week considering it is the Super Bowl, but it's one of those where it's like, yeah, it's gonna get overcrowded by everything else just happening in the area.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you brought this up to like majority of the fans that are there right now, they'd be like, "What? What are you talking about?
Right.
That's a thing."
I will.
You're telling me the church did that to these kids? I cannot believe it.
I cannot. But that's I laugh. It's a good joke. It's fun.
It's fun.
But it's crazy that we've gotten to a point in our life that is so commonplace.
Oh, it's We're
Water off the
desensitized
back
to
of the top.
idea.
Exactly.
We're
We're so
completely
desensitized that
desensitized
it's just
like the general knowledge that the church does this is so like, yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. Okay.
But I will definitely put $5 in the basket when it rolls around on Sunday.
But I swear to God, if the Saints don't cover the spread, like, okay,
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I just, to me, why isn't this at all relevant? And again, give us some time. I can't say I know, but it feels almost irrelevant to the public dialogue, to the people of New Orleans. Like, do we recognize what New Orleans is? Like, yeah, maybe some of the witch doctor practices has some Christian or biblical backing to it, but for the most part, these are Bayou people that are doing totally different religions. Like, why is there any empathy for the protection of like the most severe crime?
Yeah.
Eh.
I can't, like, it's just, it is what it is. But I mean, really, what is the bigger crime this week? This or the Chiefs and the refs? All right. We got to pick our battles wisely here.
No, the biggest crime is that the world, or at least the nation, in tandem goes, I don't like anybody that wins this. Nothing about Sunday makes us happy. And yet we'll all be there. We'll all be there with full bellies, just like Ms. DeMoss. Silent, can you do me a favor and give me your wrapping thought?
Yeah, look, as I said, this is clearly just a money grab. They're trying to pander to people and make it seem like they care, when in reality, we know they don't care because, as you guys said, a lot of these, Native American tribes have came out and said, yeah, we don't care about any of this stuff at all, yet they still seem to be wanting, but like, oh, we want to be, all inclusive and we want everybody to like us and all that. But it's like the reality is this is just like a way to rebrand and just make a lot of money. And because a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, that team that had an offensive name, now it's not offensive. I'm not even a Native American, but I'm offended. But now I'm not offended. I'm going to go support them. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to think like that. And these teams know this, and they're catering to these people because they want to make money. That's all that it is at the end of the day.
It's unfortunate how right you are.
Mhm.
And the sad part is the thing I really take away from your conclusion there. We look at it and we go, nothing's really going to come of it. When I look at this specific article, or maybe the breaking topic, I've got breaking news today.
Mm.
Is this going to be the thing that brings about real change that actually affects the real world in a positive way? No, probably not. But the nice thing about it is it did plant a seed for a grand ripple effect. So there's something really cool about us getting to have this dialogue, bringing attention to something. So it can't just be ignored. Next week, do we move on to another topic? Sure. But there is a real world dialogue that reached other ears. And shout out to the folks in the comments that have been kind of adding another element to that dialogue. We've had an opportunity to bring attention to it. And I think this is kind of the beginning, right? It's taken 15 years for even just the story to break and it to become totally desensitized to us. But at the same time, in 15 more years and then 15 years after that, the Vatican's going to have a real headache. You have a real problem. You're a really tiny country worth quadrillions of dollars, but the rest of the world has no faith that you are a good actor. That's a scary place to be. That's a scary place to be, and we're ever increasingly getting closer to that. So that's why the organizations and we've seen how royal leaders throughout time and everything else can compromise the good word and change it or mold it or amend it to fit their agenda or carry out their means of control. But that's why you shouldn't rely on that spiritual relationship. You should never rely on someone else's interpretation, someone else's practice. And I can sit here confidently and know it does. I feel unburdened and unaffected by a totally compromised system, especially when I'm willing to have the dangerous and difficult dialogues for calling it out for what it is. I will be a part. I will not find myself a part of the system that allows it to happen, because that isn't a part of the doctrine. This is contrary to everything that you're supposed to believe and preach, and yet it's pretty much infected your whole system. So I think while the press in AP and Yahoo News and everything right now breaking the story, is that going to bring real change? No. But I do think it's going to plant the seed for the ripple effect that will bring about it, because people are sick of it. And people are also calling for the change and having those conversations that'll actually affect it. What are your rapid thoughts?
I think you said all of them. Like, this is definitely something that's going to be more discussed and actually action taken on, like, down the line. This just being like a little NFL blip story is just kind of like a caveat of like the real bigger picture. But I don't see anything coming of it soon, but I do think like you mentioned, like all that money they have, it's like, yeah, the Roman Empire didn't go away. It just became the Roman Catholic Church. And that's where all the goodies are. And they know at the moment they're still virtually untouchable. But I do got to be honest. I absolutely hate it when the Pope speaks. I've officially hit that point. Whenever he speaks on our country, it's like, shut up, fossil.
Yes.
Like, shut up, dude.
You're right.
Like, the worst kind of person is the Pope.
No, I couldn't agree more. Doug, rapid thoughts.
I have two. One, Will just called the Pope the worst person.
Yeah, you know what? I take it back. I don't agree more than anything. There's worse people.
Yeah.
Bad guy. Yeah. Thanks, Doug.
So
you're saving me from hell.
Will's probably going to hell.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Semantic, over in the corner. Yeah, I'm glad you set the record there straight.
I'm sitting here listening, absoring, and my only thought was,
Will's going to hell.
Yeah,
well, we got Mr. SpongeBob over there just absorbing it all. Jesus Christ.
But
you're right.
Don't say that. You're already on a one-way ticket, dude.
My other thought, though, rep thought, is just, I think it's hilarious that the Super Bowl happens to be in New Orleans too, and especially because this has been 5 years going on. Goodell knew about this, and yet he still allowed New Orleans to be the site for the Super Bowl. So I think that's pretty odd.
Thunderdome.
Thank you, SpongeBob.
What do they call it? What do they call the dome
The
there?
Superdome.
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 Hey, it
He's
survived
like-
a
he's
But
hurricane.
they have so many games.
Wait, you guys got a controversy? But you also got a Superdome.
But they have so many games there. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a Super Bowl. They have
Well,
bowl
it's because
games
of the
there.
dome they
Yeah.
have. Like it's like they
If
will.
we had a dome, we'd have games.
Okay, Doug, we're not doing that topic again.
It's just more the irony that they're called the Saints, and then they have the issue,
Yeah,
which is
tied to them naturally as a stereotype anyway.
but
But I don't think, Doug, they picked it because or they looked the other. It was New Orleans gets it more often than not anyway because of the climate. It's a good place to spend the week for the media that's around it. But then also it's the perfect stadium for the Super Bowl. So that's why they've had it more than most stadiums.
don't kid yourself. Goodell heard the story get brought up this week. He's like, "Gee, oh my god." Next, talk about the Chiefs and the refs, please.
I need 2 press passes for my wife's sister. That's my problem today.
Yeah, like this isn't a
I'm
big
not
deal.
worried about that.
Take it up with the big guy. The big guy's the Pope, and he sucks. Sorry, Doug.
Oh, I was thinking it was God. Oh, I was saying the big guy's God. Take it up with him. He's got the final say.
Even that guy's looking at the Pope like you're an idiot. You're so screwed. You screwed this up for all of us.
You're going to hell, Will.
Doug, you're literally in the front row seat next to me. You're acting like you didn't call shotgun.
I might be going for different reasons, but I've never said the Pope's the worst person ever.
Sorry.
So-
Hitler. We'll see you when we're down there. I met you first.
Pope
second.
That is a perfect one to end on. So I gotta thank people like Aiden Hirsch and Sala and the other people in the comments, because the beauty of the live show is to get you involved. So I appreciate everybody that jumped in the comments and added their perspective to the dialogue, because that's what makes the live show fun. We had us joining in the Pickle Gallery. It was a great time as always. Silent Destroyer, Silent, thank you for joining us as always, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me.
As always, tell them where
As
they
always.
can find you.
We're live every single day on kick.com/silentdestroyer.
Kick.com/Silent Destroyer. Don't miss him because he's live all the time and they're quite the spectacle. It's a fun hang. Watch him mukbang and roam the streets. What a fun time. But we go live each week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Like I said, the whole purpose is to get you involved. But also, I appreciate all the folks that join us streaming. You could find all of our episodes anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it's Google Play or Spotify or anywhere else. You could find us there. You also could find the Rethink Tank podcast. That's bi-weekly. So every other week we got a new episode. Silent and I had a really great episode last week, coming to the conclusion, and a real answer is what made it really special, but coming to an actual conclusion on walking the line of law and order and considering a world of anarchy versus, a police state. So it was a great dialogue. And we also, Doug and I, have our reactions channel this Sunday. He and I parse apart some of the most wild abandoned locations. And we're not doing that episode live anymore. So I love it even more because the edited version comes out so much cleaner and so much more fun. So be sure to join us Sunday, but we still do have our live show. So you know what? I do want to get the banner because that's the juice right there. The Sunday football review. We have our final episode, the big grand finale this Sunday. Join us at noon. The Sunday Football Review does our Super Bowl special. And I'm telling you, I'm exhausted at this point with all of the content we've curated. We've got a lot in the chamber. Will's got a drink because he lost our last parlay. And we've got some other things lined up that might have some of us also having to rip down some ices for punishments in this episode. So with all the fun things lined up for us, don't miss the fun and be sure to join us live this Sunday for the football review. But putting a bow on it and bringing us to our conclusion, with all of these programs, the different shows and the different channels, you can find it all in one central place, and that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So be sure to head on over there so you can catch it all. But otherwise, guys, I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.